Human beings have been exploring the meaning of life ever since human civilizations started. For the past 2,500 years, various religions and philosophy have been doing their share in the explorations. The New Age movement, which started several decades ago, is an example of the recent searches. Countless numbers of descriptive languages have been found to define the meaning of life. Each of the languages, when faced with the ultimate truth, would have its unique meaning, as well as its relative restrictions. When one takes a position in a space which is limited in its dimension, one would only see endless differences and differentiations. If one sees from a holistic perspective, the entire universe is one entity, since the ultimate purpose of all descriptive language is the sole truth. We live in a three-dimensional world, but human consciousness exists not only in this world, but also in multi-dimensional space. The single dimension is a line. No matter how we try to describe it, it would not present any aesthetic beauty. The two-dimensional world is a plane on which we could paint a beautiful picture, much more beautiful than a single line. A three-dimensional world is n times more beautiful than a two-dimensional plane. So with an increase of one dimension, there would be an infinite increase in the amount of information and beauty. What is the relationship across dimensions? It's projection. One dimension is the projection of two dimensions. Two dimensions is the projection of three dimensions. n-1 dimensions is the projection of n dimensions. Here, n approaches infinity. Once we understand this projection relationship, we would have a complete understanding of the existence of the entire universe. The most simple or bare common property of all existence is the sine wave. Actually, everything we see in this world is a projection from a higher dimensional world. We call this the concept of multidimensional space. When n approaches infinity, all things are integrated into one. This is the highest state level. It also matches the description of the status of a Buddha, who has achieved the complete, unsurpassed, and perfect enlightenment. In Taoism, it is also called Wuji, infinite, which exists at any place and any time. In Western theology, it is omnipresent God, the Creator, since it enters the original state of the projection source. Therefore, the fundamental meaning of life is improving the dimension of consciousness. Mr. Liu Feng is an advocate and disseminator of this holistic life ecology cultural system integration theory. During his 30 years research and public speaking, Mr. Liu has dedicated himself to all kinds of sapience and spiritual groups with a totally open mind. With his basic principle of seeking the common and respect the difference, Mr. Liu has unscrambled and interpreted various mankind wisdom systems with a scientific logic by which people with different backgrounds are all greatly inspired. His new book, The Symphony of High Dimensional Wisdoms, uses the scientific context and builds an intertwined network of wisdom systems. He believes that this theory is the common intellectual wealth of mankind and does not belong to any person or organization. It is a hub connecting all wisdom languages, an internal bridge that seeks commonalities and existing for the harmonious symphony of multiculturalism in the world. International Holographic Ecology is an Australia-based non-profit organization that is dedicated to dissemination and advocates Mr. Liu Feng's holistic universe theory internationally.